They counted you out, wrote you off, put a period where there was still a whole chapter left. And I know that hurts. I know that sits heavy. It's just one thing to struggle because it's one thing to struggle. It's another thing to be underestimated while you're struggling. But let me tell you something real. Being counted out is not a curse. It's an advantage because now there are no expectations, no pressure to perform, no image to protect, just hunger. And hunger is dangerous. I've been in rooms where nobody believed in me. I've been the guy with the vision and no validation, the dream and no resources, the plan and no support. And I learned something early. When people stop betting on you, that's when you learn how to bet on yourself. Most people wait for approval. Winners make without it. They counted the approval. Winners move without it because they saw your struggle, not your strength. They saw your delay, not your discipline. They saw your setback, not your stamina. And that's fine. Let them see what they want. Because while they were watching, you were building. See, comebacks don't start with applause. They start with isolation, with silence, with long nights and quiet decisions, with you choosing to keep going when nobody would blame you for quitting. That's character. Because anybody can perform when it's easy. Anybody can smile when it's working, but it takes a different kind of person to stay focused when it's not, to stay disciplined when it's slow, and to stay hungry when it's lonely. And that's who you're becoming. They counted you out because they don't know what it cost you to stay in. I have to. They don't know the battles you fight in your head. They don't know the pressure you carry in your chest. They don't know how many times you had to talk yourself out of giving up. But you did. You stayed. You pushed. You endured. And that matters because resilience compounds. Discipline compounds, effort compounds, and one day all that invisible work becomes very visible. Let me be clear. Your comeback is not going to be flashy.
Right.
It's not going to be flashy. It's going to be built in silence, in consistency, in structure. In you doing the boring work that nobody wants to do. That's where power is, Bill. People think comebacks are about proving others wrong. They're not. They're about proving yourself right. Proving that you are who you said you were. Proving that your vision wasn't a phase. Proving that your dream wasn't a fantasy, proving that you're built for this. Because the truth is, being counted out can either break you or free you. It can either make you bitter or make you better. It can make you fold or make you focused. Is dangerous. Focus doesn't complain. Focus doesn't explain. Focus doesn't waste time. Focus builds. While others are distracted, you're disciplined. While others are comfortable, you're committed. While others are watching, you're working. And that gap is growing every early morning. every late night, every sacrifice, every no when you wanted to say yes, it's stacking, it's shaping, it's sharpening you. They counted you out, but they didn't know your work ethic. They counted you out, but they didn't know your pain. They counted you out, but they didn't know your patience. And patience is power, because patient people don't rush, they don't panic, they don't break, they build, they wait, they trust the process, because they understand that real success takes time. And you're not late, you're not behind, you're being prepared for pressure, prepared for responsibility, prepared for the level you keep asking for. See, everybody wants the win. Very few people are ready for what comes with it. And right now, life is training you, stretching you, hardening you, sharpening you. Not to punish you, but to prepare you, because when the comeback hits, and it's going to require strength, discipline, focus. And you're building all of that right now quietly. So let them doubt, let them underestimate, let them sleep. Because while they're comfortable, you're constructing. While they're distracted, you're developing. While they're watching from the sidelines, you're in the work, and one day they're going to look up and wonder how you did it. They'll say you got lucky. They'll say you changed. That they'll say you got lucky. They'll say you came out of nowhere. But you'll know the truth. You didn't come out of nowhere. You came out of pressure. You came out of pressure. You came out of a struggle. You came out of discipline. They counted you, but you counted yourself in. They underestimated you, labeled you, put limits on you based on a moment, a mistake, a season. They saw the struggle and assumed that was the story. They saw the setback and decided that was the ending. But what they didn't see was the fire. What they didn't see was the hunger. What they didn't see was the strength you were building in silence. Being underrated doesn't weaken you. It sharpens you, because when nobody expects much from you, you're free. Free from pressure, free from performance, free from pretending. You get to build without noise, without eyes, without opinions shaping your moves. And that's dangerous, because people who grow in the dark come out different. They come out focused. They come out disciplined. They come out unbreakable. Most people want attention. They want validation. They want to be seen. But the strongest people are forged when nobody is looking, when nobody is cheering, when nobody is clapping, when it's just you, your work, and your vision, and that's where you've been, quietly grinding, quietly learning, quietly evolving. They thought you were falling behind. You were actually building foundation. They thought you were losing. You were actually learning. They thought you were weak. You were actually getting stronger. See, being underrated It gives you time. It gives you space. It gives you room to make mistakes and to experiment, to grow without judgment. While others are performing, you're preparing. While others are talking, you're training. While others are comfortable, and while others are comfortable, you're becoming. Kind of growth is scary because people can't compete with what they can't see. If you try to go out, they can't copy what they don't know. What they block what they don't understand. They can't stop what they don't expect. And you've been underestimated long enough to build something real. Unbreakable doesn't mean you never hurt. It means you don't quit. It means you don't fold. It means you don't run when it gets uncomfortable. It means you take the hit. You take the lesson, and you keep moving. Unbreakable is staying when it would be easier to leave. Unbreakable is pushing when it would be easier to pause. Unbreakable is believing when it would be easier to doubt. And that strength doesn't come from comfort. It comes from pressure, from being ignored, from being doubted, from being counted out. Those moments harden you. They strip you. They expose you. And then they rebuild you stronger, sharper, smarter. Most people crumble when they're overlooked. They take it personal. They get bitter. They get small. You got better. You didn't beg for attention. You didn't chase approval. You didn't lower your standards. You raised your work ethic. And that's why they won't see it coming. One per day, you'll walk into rooms they never thought you'd enter. And you'll speak with confidence they never thought you had. You'll move with authority they never expected. And they'll be confused because in their mind, you were the underdog. They forgot one thing. Underdogs fight harder. Underdogs last longer. Underdogs don't quit. Because when you're underrated, you learn how to rely on yourself. You learn how to push yourself. You learn how to motivate yourself. And that builds a different kind of power, quiet power, patient power, unbreakable power. And when you finally rise, when the results show, when the growth becomes visible, it won't be a surprise to you because you knew what you were building the whole time. Silence is not weakness. It's strategy. It's focus. It's preparation. And most people don't understand that. They think if you're not loud, you're not moving. If you're not posting, you're not progressing. You're not progressing. If you're not talking, you're not winning. But the real ones know silence is where the work gets done. Silence is where discipline is built. Silence is where habits are formed. Silence is where focus gets sharp. While others are explaining, you're executing. While others are performing, you're preparing. While others are seeking validation, you're stacking skill. And that's dangerous because people never see the rise coming when it's built in silence. Noise feels productive. Silence is productive. Noise is talking. Silence is doing. Most people want to be seen. Very few people are willing to be patient. They want recognition before results. They want praise before proof. They want credit before consistency. And that's why they stay average. Silence doesn't rush. Silence doesn't panic. Silence doesn't chase. It builds. When you move in silence, you're not distracted by opinions. You're not controlled by expectations. You're not slowed down by comparison. You're locked in. You're aligned. You're focused on the mission, not the audience. And that's power. Because when nobody knows your next move, nobody can block it. When nobody knows your plan, nobody can doubt it. When nobody sees your grind, nobody can interrupt it. You get to grow in peace. You get to fail in private. You get to learn without pressure, and that creates confidence, real confidence, not the loud kind, the unshakable kind, the kind that doesn't need to prove, the kind that doesn't need to announce, the kind that doesn't need to explain, just moves. Silence builds momentum without attention, strength without spotlight, progress without pressure. And that's where most people miss it. They think success is loud. It's not. It's quiet. It's repetitive. It's consistent. It's unglamorous. It's early mornings, late nights, sacrifices nobody thanks you for. That's the rise. And the best part, when you move in silence, people underestimate you. They think you're falling behind. They think you're not doing much. They think you're losing. And that gives you space to build, space to sharpen, space to separate. And separation is the goal, because when the rise finally happens, it hits different. It's unexpected. It's undeniable. It's powerful. People don't see it coming because they weren't paying attention. They were too busy talking, too busy watching others, too busy being distracted. And then one day they look up and you're ahead. That's the advantage of silence. And you don't warn, you don't announce, you don't explain. You rise